climate-friendly investment is starting to flow from a relatively new and increasingly popular source, the green bond. Green bonds were created to increase funding by accessing the $80 trillion bond market and expanding the investor base for climate-friendly projects worldwide. They are fixed income, liquid financial instruments that are easy to understand, and the funds green bonds raise are dedicated exclusively to climate mitigation and adaptation projects and other environmentally beneficial activities. This provides investors an attractive investment proposition as well as an opportunity to support environmentally sound projects.
We need to see much more investment in the adaptation and the resilience of communities, of cities, of countries, because we have already put so much climate pollution in the atmosphere that it is inevitable that we will warm more than we are today. And we know that even at 2 degrees, so internationally we've agreed we want to cap emissions so that we don't warm more than 2 degrees, right? But we know that even at 2 degrees, for many coastal cities around the world, for many agricultural systems around the world, for many communities around the world, 2 degrees means disruptive change. Yeah? So we have to invest in resilience because we've already put enough pollution in the atmosphere that the planet will keep on warming over the next 20 years. But we have to act to aggressively mitigate climate change now. And that means for those countries that are emitting, they must build efficiency into their economies. They must decarbonize their growth. We believe that this is possible to do. The politics may be difficult, but it's possible to do. And for those countries that are growing, that they need to be able to build a pathway of growth which is not carbon intensive. So investing in energy systems which have many sources of energy, not becoming reliant on only fossil fuels. So hydro, big hydro, small hydro, solar, wind, geothermal, especially in this part of the world. That land use, the way we manage forests and agriculture, be done in such a way as to not have large emissions. Transport systems, for more and more people are living in cities. So how those cities are constructed and the transport systems in those cities will define how many emissions a country has. But also, cleaner cities mean more livable cities. The poor can get to work easier, they're more productive. More people invest in the city because it's a productive city. The air quality is better, so children breathe easier, right? So this is clearly in everybody's advantage, and it also has an emissions reduction perspective. So we believe that no matter where you are in the world, whether you're a fragile country and living in a post-conflict situation, whether you're a least developed country, whether you're a middle-income country, whether you're a developed country, there is something to be done now that will be for the economic benefit of your population in the short, medium and long term. Our job in the World Bank Group is to provide the economic evidence and data alongside the science to help finance ministers, planning ministers, the people in charge of the budget, development ministers, to understand that climate change is not something that their colleagues who run the environment ministry should be exclusively concerned about, that this is their business. Climate change is about the future of the economy and the prospects of people, and that is their business. And so we at the World Bank Group we're taking climate change out of the environment sphere. It remains there, it's an important environmental issue, but we're trying to put it in front of the finance ministers and say, this is your business and this is your business now, not in 20 years, now. Decisions made now will define future pathways.
The World Bank Treasury issued its first green bond in 2008, at a time when investors didn't have liquid, fixed-income investment options that specifically supported climate-focused and environmentally friendly projects. The World Bank has since issued more than $7 billion in green bonds in 17 currencies, including a new green growth bond linked to an equity index and designed for retail investors. Separately, the International Finance Corporation has issued $3.7 billion, including two $1 billion green bond sales in 2013. Proceeds from the World Bank and the IFC green bonds are used to support renewable energy, energy efficiency, sustainable transportation, and other low-carbon projects, as well as financing for forest and watershed management and infrastructure to prevent climate-related flood damage and build climate resilience.
Investment in sustainable development is not the same as what you call a traditional return on investment type of process. I recall, well, some of us have spent considerable part of our time in the last 20 years looking at this process on the highest global level. And I can tell you that it is not that easy. People have lost money. But whether we like it or not, we need to adopt the basic principle of that. And that also leads me to believe that even our banks, they also need to change their attitude. I feel sympathetic to them because you can only lend what you have. And in a situation where everybody is expecting quick return today. In the case of sustainable principle and investment, it is not. Because we need to bring so many factors into equation. I talk about the risk. I talk about the social. I talk about the environmental and even the economic issues. So these are key issues in my view that we need to address. Education is key. We need to move out more to let people know what we are talking about, apart from educating them, apart from educating the operators and even the business people. Do they know what we are talking about? Then also we need to look at a regulatory framework. This is the time has come that we must have inclusion. And that inclusion is not just for the bankers. It's for the savers, depositors, the regulators, people in government, the legislators. You see, legislation is key into what we are doing. So we need to carry everybody along with us.
The two institutions, whose ratings provide security for investors and development mandates and safeguards provide assurance for the use of proceeds and impact, have helped pioneer the green bond market, expand the investor base, and raise awareness about the needs and opportunities for climate-friendly investment. Two major United States government agencies have said that last year was Earth's warmest on record, bolstering the argument that people are altering the planet's climate by relentlessly burning fuels that belch greenhouse gases into the air. Separate studies by the United States Space Agency, NASA, and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration showed that the 10 warmest years on record have taken place since 1997.
2014, the year just ended, was the warmest year on record, going back to when the record started in the 1880s. What was found for 2014 was that 2014 was about 1.25 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than the average temperature of the Earth during the 20th century. Increasing surface temperatures means rising sea levels, and that increases the probability of storm surges and coastal flooding. Humans are contributing by burning fossil fuels. We have an increase of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and that is a greenhouse gas because it traps the outgoing long-wave radiation and warms the atmosphere and warms the Earth and warms the oceans.
The scientists said the record temperatures were spreading around the globe, including most of Europe stretching into northern Africa, the western United States, far eastern Russia into western Alaska, parts of interior South America, parts of eastern and western coastal Australia and elsewhere.
What we all hope is that all of the observations which we collect will be interpreted by our leaders, and they will realize that it's important to have a constant climate on the planet. This is very important for our civilization and not to perturb it. And that's what I hope happens. And what NASA and NOAA do is they provide observations to whomever wants them. They're open to everyone. And that information can then be inspected, dissected, and then used to provide information on what's happening.
Scientists have warned of grave consequences this century if global temperatures keep rising as anticipated, including heavily populated coastal regions being swamped by rising ocean levels, more deadly extreme weather events, droughts that may harm food production, and others. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change concluded last year that the world has witnessed more hot days and heat waves since the 1950s, and will see more changes to weather extremes by the end of the 21st century. So it is imperative for everyone to do his or her bit. On that, we end the show. Thank you for watching. This episode and others are on our website, channelstv.com/EarthFile, and our YouTube channel, youtube.com/channelsweb. Do join us next time. From all of us here, bye for now.